As we talked about earlier this hour, there are a number of U.S. senators likely to be running in 2020, but only one has the name recognition and a base of support significant enough to give him the title of frontrunner. 2016 New Hampshire primary winner Bernie Sanders hasn't made a definitive statement about what he's going to do, but his candidacy would reset the race in a big way. John DeStaso joins us now to help us unpack the biggest question of all right now, which is, will Bernie Sanders run for president in 2020?
I don't think anyone knows the answer to that question. I'm not even sure that Bernie Sanders does right now, but his supporters here, his core supporters, within the last week or so have started to get some signals that Bernie Sanders is very seriously considering it.
Is it safe to say if he runs that the pressure's on him, he has to win the New Hampshire primary?
I would say absolutely. I mean, he set the bar high. Of course, with a two-person race, 60% wasn't, that's a two-person race. If he's in a 10 or 12 or more person race, the winning percentage might be in the low to mid-20s. We'll have to see who's actually candidates come the time the primary rolls around. But given the fact that he is the one, I think he would have to win here. If he can't win in New Hampshire, his neighboring state, he will be going up against another neighbor, Elizabeth Warren. But at the same time, this is known now as Bernie country. At least it had been. We'll have to see now whether he can continue to, solidify at least a good part of the following that he had. This is all if he decides to run. But yeah, I would say it's a must-win in New Hampshire. I don't think anyone can disagree with that.